And again, one thing I want to talk about here is we're going to be looking at how network managers cope with today's challenges. And this is going to be first part of a 5-part series, and if you want more from us on this, we're going to go ahead and make it available to you guys. Okay, the first thing we're going to talk about today is what are the challenges that you're faced with today? Again, I wrestled with that when I first started to look at this topic, and I did some research and found the Yankee Group in 2008 had done a survey. The survey indicated that they surveyed several IT managers across 1,000 companies, and they found these problems. Now, some of these problems are related to what you're doing today. Some may not be. But again, what we're going to do is I'm going to talk only about one of these today, but I'm going to highlight them right now. Okay, the first one, the major one they found was pinpointing network performance issues before they become a problem. What you've been talking about most of the day has been all the traffic you're seeing on your network. How are you going to manage that traffic? How are you going to pinpoint issues? It's really a problem, and it's going to continue to problem as you start converging these services. Another one is validating changes to existing and new services. How are you going to do that before you put it on a network? Something the one vendor talked about earlier, this Cyan, he talked about that a lot. Improving troubleshooting methods of transient troubleshooting of intermittent problems. I don't know. I get a lot of calls on those kind of problems, and we deal with that on a regular basis. Again, another one is accelerating time to benefit on new or upgraded services as you deploy them. Your managers are asking you to put in new services. They're putting up budgets to do that. They want a return on investment quickly. How are you going to do that? Okay, and can you relate to that problem? And most importantly is how to manage growth. Now, do any of these problems are they any of these problems stuff that you run into on a regular basis? I don't know, but again, we're going to talk about the first one. How do you pinpoint potential network issues and manage them? Okay, what I'm going to talk about in this short presentation is I'm going to look at the organizational barriers of getting into that, the value of network discovery, the importance of defining alarms, reason for measuring application and performance issues. And then we're going to have some case studies that's going to show you some examples of how you get around that, or what we found. Organizational barriers. What does an IT organization do? They have 3 primary functions. They develop service, deliver service, and they maintain service. The first challenge of making that barrier is delivering the service. Again, these are fairly straightforward items. I'm going to talk more about that in another one of the presentations. But the second challenge is what I want to focus in on. And again, the reason I want to focus in on it is you need to employ a set of tools that help you monitor your network much more effectively. And again, why do you want to do that? Well, the main reason was in the study that came out with the Yankee Group, they noted that the vast majority of instances of key business applications are degrading. The end user, not the IT department, identified the problem. That's the real reason why you need to focus in on this and spend some time on this. Most companies, it's a barrier. They're having a hard time moving forward with that and getting past that and moving into that. On network environment discovery and ongoing. Again, one of the major reasons why you want to move and get into network management and utilize the tools, information power is power to you. The more information you have, the more you know about your network, the quicker you can make decisions. That's what empowers you. That's what you need to do. To be successful to manage these issues, you need to have a deep understanding of your environment, the physical and logical, your applications running across the users and devices. You need to have an intimate knowledge about the applications running across the network. Again, a good majority of the applications that are running across your network, at least what we've seen, you don't have control of. It's going to the internet, it's going to other places that you don't have control. So you need to have a good understanding of that. Baselines are really key to your success in finding out. And baselines meaning you want to get a snapshot of the traffic for a long period of time so you know what's going on. You want to measure as much as you can and automate as much as you can. That's what we try to do. You need to develop a management process to optimize your desktop, the traffic that enters and leaves your network, and also as it transgresses. So it's real important to get established in this first phase what's going across your network. Now, what do you do with that information? You start to move into the alarm phase of it and identifying problems ahead of time. Again, alarms allow you to identify issues before your users do. That's an objective that you want to approach. Okay, where do you set alarms at? Okay, you want to get full visibility, increased visibility to all your interfaces, trunks, and all the services that's going across your network, right off the top. You want to identify all the applications that are going across, anything abnormal. You want to get a good picture of that and identify that. Once you get a good understanding of that, you're going to set thresholds on some of this traffic. And once you get the threshold set, you're going to start seeing activity of when services are going awry and get them going quickly. Now, there's problems. When you start setting static thresholds, you have to be real careful, because if you set them too low on the service horizon, you're going to start getting all kinds of alarms. And if you set it too high, you're not going to get any alarms. So you've got to work at it to find out how to manage your threshold levels and manage them effectively. One of the big problems that most organizations have is they ignore them, because they don't set it right. They don't take the time to set them right and clearly define them. Now, again, there's another way that we're moving into. We use a lot of static alarms today in our system, and we're moving away from that. And where we're moving to is more proactive alarms. And again, what we're doing is setting baselines. We get a baseline of the traffic over a period of time. You got ebbs and tides in all your out traffic and applications and everything else. And once you get an understanding of that, then you'll set thresholds around that. And then when that software sees the application exceed those thresholds during that time period of that threshold, then you know you got a problem. And that's where you want to move into and define and manage it more effectively.